to GME and Insights. I'm your host, Natasha Brooks, and I am glad to be back with you today. I wanted to come and just tell you guys a little bit about my journey. I've been getting a lot of questions about where am I now, what's going on. So I wanted to just lay out just some tidbits of what's been happening, right? So everybody knows, well, if you've been watching me and you're on my LinkedIn, so I got a job offer, right? That if you know me, you know that I love Florida and I love the beach and I can be a mermaid, right? I can be a mermaid. So, and I always talk about like negotiation, knowing what you want. And everyone knows for the last 3 years that, I built my professional development plan and everything that was on my plan, I started to mark off, I add to it, just so I can continue to grow me, right? To grow myself professionally, personally, my development, my knowledge, my GME. It's a never ending process. I always will continue to grow. And for myself, I've always said, okay, I'm doing all this so I can be a administrative director of GME. I love GME. And then the next step for me personally is maybe a COO, right? But that I'm still constantly growing. And I never thought I would even want to be a COO, but after working with my old COO in Arizona, I'm like, I can do what you're doing. So that's in the future, right? But I had these goals that I set for myself to accomplish, and that when I accomplished them, I kept adding more goals and more things to do and more learning and more growth and just more, right? Just soaking everything up like a sponge. I still have some things that I want to do, that I want to accomplish. So when it came to me wanting to get a certain position, I said, I want to be a director of GME. That was my main goal. But I just didn't want to be a director. I wanted it to be fulfilling, and I wanted it to be the right organization. I wanted it to be the right timing, the right, just everything. I want the culture, to be right. I just wasn't going to settle just to have the title. And I have different job offers that I turned down. And I always say negotiate, and but they weren't right for me. And then the ones I thought I wanted, I didn't get, or I shouldn't say I didn't get it, because before it could even, go through, I just withdrew myself from different positions. So I get this position in GME down in Florida. And I think you guys seen it on my LinkedIn. It was GME analyst director, right? And I was like, that is really cool, because now I'm working with the finance of things, you know, the backing of like new innovations, right? Dealing with the iris reports and, slot for docs, and just learning more about the funding part of it. And so even though I was doing that, I wasn't fulfilled, right? But I was going to stay in it. I was going to learn it. I was going to, because it's still helping GME. And I've done some financing, but not like deep dive into financing and training the directors. And it was a nice job. I have to say that. And, I was still in Florida. I'm sorry, I was still in Arizona going to Florida. And like I said before, I had interviewed at different positions, different jobs, different places. Because one thing my grandmother always told me is, go where your degree takes you. So just because I'm in Arizona, that doesn't mean I'm going to stay in Arizona. Just because I've lived there, if the jobs, especially the ones that I want, are not in Arizona, why would I stay? Right? So I'm packing up. I started working at the Florida job in Arizona to get acclimated, meetings, funding. We're doing all of that. And I really learned a lot. So I'm packing up Arizona. I'm packing up. I got my pot already gone. Um, the next morning, I get in the car to start a 4-day journey. You heard me, 4 days. It was going to take me 4 days. And the reason why I couldn't fly is because I have a medium, big size dog, and that dog could not get on the plane. So I had to fly. If it wasn't for my girls, since they was coming with me and it was their dogs, I'm like, well, you know what? We'll drive. So 4-day drive. I hate driving. Anybody knows me. If it's more than 3 hours, I'm flying. Okay. I shouldn't say like hate, but hate. I don't do road trips like that. So, but I had to do it. I had to do it 4 days, and it wasn't bad. And we stopped. We at the hotel. It was good. I can't complain. It was really good. I, Even though I don't like road trips, this is really good, especially the way that I planned it. I did 6 to 8 hours a day, nothing longer than that. And actually, it wasn't really a whole 8 hours. So just enough to, okay, I'm starting to get tired. Let me get off. We had a hotel, relax, take a hot shower. It was still daylight. We we were in different cities. So it was like, hey, let's check out this and this. I went through Texas. So I stayed in Fort Worth, and my best friend lives in Dallas. Like, come on, girl, we here. Let's chop it up. And that's what we did. We had a good time. We talked. We saw each other. So the trip was good. It wasn't a dragging, oh my God, trip. It was really good. So the first day, okay, the first day, mind you, I'm getting up on my first day. Cars packed. Boom, let's start this 4-day journey to Florida, right? I got my apartment, I got my job, you know, we already got, okay, we're gonna do this, this, and this. We're gonna go to the Key West, we're gonna do this. We got everything planned for what we want to do once we get to Miami, right? So, first day, I get in the car. I couldn't even leave my parking spot. Okay. So I get in the car and I started. My phone rings. Who is this? Let's see who this is, right? When I tell you the job that I wanted called me and offered me the job the day that I'm driving to Florida, where did they do that? Hmm. So I didn't accept it right then and there because I'm like, what? I have a job and a place in Florida. I need to just set out to go to Florida, right? So I called my sister. That's my backbone. That's my confidant. That's my look. Let's chop it up. What we gonna do? What's going on? What we gonna do? Right? So I call her like, look, why did I just get the job offer at this job? And so she was like, so what are you gonna do? Take it, right? And I'm like, but my life is in Miami. And she was like, no, you need to take that job. So I'm gonna back up a little bit because when I was negotiating with this job, never thought I would get it. Never thought I would get it, right? I said no. If you want me there, this is what I want. I want this salary. I want this signing bonus. I want this moving bonus. I want this, and this, right? And so they was like, okay, well, reach back out to you. It had been like a month. I said, yeah, they're not gonna give me that job. So when they called and gave me everything plus a little bit more than what I was wanting, I was like, oh my God. I mean, it was a title, but it wasn't a director. But you want me to do director work, but it was Okay. So they restructured the title and the job description for what I wanted, for me. So I was like, oh, they want me, right? So when I saw that they did restructure the job title, the job description, and everything, and gave me a little bit more sign-in bonus and relocation. I was like, you know what? Yeah. So I took the job, right? So I took the job. I didn't really tell anybody. I just took it. I moved my life from Florida to Georgia and all undercover. Not really undercover, but just this is what I'm gonna do. Um, and that's what I did. So a lot of people are like, hey, I know you're in Florida, da da da. I'm not in Florida. I am in Georgia. And when I tell you I am in love, like, you like, okay, this is what I want. I want this, I want this, I want this. Well, that's how I am. I will list what I want, what I don't want, what I want, what I don't want. I list it out. I'll write it out. I have my vision boards. This is what I want. And so when the Georgia job, when I thought I wasn't going to get it, right? Because I'm like, look, if you're not giving me this, this, and this, I'm not taking it. I'm gonna go to Miami. I'm gonna be on the beach in Miami. That's where I was headed. Some said, girl, you don't need to be on no beach in Miami. You don't need to be living in Miami because you may get in trouble. I'm just saying, right? So he said, okay, we gonna put you over here to Georgia. And so I was excited and ecstatic all the way. So now I'm like, okay, Tasha, now you have to now move your life from Miami to Georgia, right? So I had to call the pod, redirect that. I had to find a place in Georgia. I had to like everything. But I'm gonna tell you something, and I don't usually do this on my podcast or any social media. I really don't. I just keep it strictly professional development, professional growth, professional everything. But I'm gonna tell you something. Let me tell you something about God, man. Let me tell you something. I asked for it and I got it, right? I didn't know how I was going to live, where I was going to live in Georgia. And I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? And then things just start popping in my head like, okay, but remember the marketing director took you around. Call her. She may know some realtors. You know what I'm saying? So I called her. Oh, man, I know somebody. She called the realtor. The realtor called me. Hey, you was coming down here. Yes, I am. I know somebody. Da. By the time I made it to my first stop, day one, I had a place. Okay. I had a place in Georgia. I had a job. And this is another thing. Technology today is crazy because I got my job offer. Let me look this over. Okay, from my phone. From my phone. I signed that job offer. Boom, boom, boom. There you go. Yes, I want that. And I took it. I had a place and I had my stuff redirected to Georgia. Cost a little bit more since it's the last minute, but I had it redirected. So now my whole life is now traveling to Georgia, right? So every day that I was up at the hotel, so during the day I'm driving, business calls, business, I need this, I need that. Hey, this. Literally, I was a traveling office for 4 days. Okay. It was fun and it was exciting. It was nervous and it was like, oh, what am I gonna do? Like, by the time I got actually to my sister's house after the fourth day, um, I had everything, it was all planned out. I just had to sit and wait. So, um, yeah, so that's where I am now. I know the background is different. Okay. So once the rest of my stuff gets here, it's always that it's the waiting game. You're gonna see a new background. Okay. You're going to it's I'm coming with I'm telling you, this season, this new year, because Jimmy Admin Insights, we are a little over a year old. So this year coming up, it's gonna be a lot. Okay. It's going to be a lot of the same growth, professional development with a little bit of twist. Okay. So I just wanted to come to you to share that. My next segment will be the job itself. Because I know a lot of people are like, what you doing? Where you at? What exactly is it? Yes, it is a director job. But when I tell you, like, I always wanted to continue to grow at Jimmy, okay? You get what you ask for. You get what you ask for. So I like this new role. It's gonna be challenging. I'm gonna learn more. Um, so I cannot wait to share with you guys and just, continue to grow together because that's what we do. We grow together, right? This is what we're doing. We're growing with each other. But I'm glad to share with you. I'm glad to share, my journey to where I am now. So I did not go to Florida. Unfortunately, I did not go to Miami. But I did go to Georgia, which, it's kind of cool too because my sister and my mom is here. They moved from Arizona down here. So it just makes it bittersweet. So that's what I'm doing. That's where I'm at. And I will be back with the job itself. Okay. Also, I just want to tell you something. Like, we always, somebody asked me something and I told them, no, this is what I do for myself. So, we work hard, right? We work hard. We have the weight of our programs on our shoulders. Like I always say, we always are running it, ripping it, doing it, then maybe going to school for getting an education or dealing with our families or dealing with, deaths in our families or dealing with angry stakeholders or residents or, our faculty and core faculty, right? So someone asked me a question about like, how do you reward yourself um, with all your accomplishments? And I started this when I was in my undergrad. Actually, even a little bit before my undergrad, but really in my undergrad. I remember, and this is just what I do for myself. So in my undergrad, every time I got an A, I had to get an A. If I got an A in a class, I would buy myself something. And I have another one, but this is just the one I have on right now. So I have a Pandora bracelet, and I have three, right? So what I would do is every time I got an A specifically, I would buy me a charm, right? I like Pandora. I love the charm. So that was a way of treating myself. I said, I'm going to buy me a charm every time I get an A. So, and that's what I would did. I would buy me a charm every time. So, the other two bracelets, they have charms on them. Two, three, the other three, because this is four. So the other three, they have charms on them. Because every time I got an A, I would buy me a charm for my Pandora bracelet. That was my gift to myself for the hard work that I did to get that A. So let's just say you get a promotion, what would you do for yourself? I always would treat myself. Oh, I've been eyeing this Coach purse or this little Gucci purse. I would do something, but when it was a big thing that I did, I would buy myself a big gift, right? Just to say, this is for your hard work. It pays off. You've done this. This is for your hard work. And I still do that to this day, right? So if you, because you work hard every day, you should not take that for granted and reward yourself. That's what you need to do. Reward yourself. I remember when I was a tween, in my 20s rather. This guy, it was, I forgot why, I forgot who it was, but he had told me, he said, every time you get paid, do something for yourself first. Buy you something, even if it's a pair of shoes, even if you just go get a pedicure, even if you just get a jacket or a dress, buy yourself something first and then pay your bills with what's left. And I was like, what? No, I gotta pay my bills. He was like, you work hard for your money. You don't work hard just to pay bills. So when you do work hard, buy yourself something because your bills are always going to be there. Buy yourself something first and then pay your bills because that is your treat for working hard for that money. And so that's when I would do that. And when I get paid, I would buy myself something, even if it's a $20 lipstick, right? I would still buy myself something and then, pay my bills. So now when I do accomplishments, like, okay, I got accepted to Omni. For me, that is a big accomplishment. I got accepted to ACGME. That is a big accomplishment. So, like after that, once I accomplish it, I would probably treat myself and do something. I mean, that's just what it is. So think about that. Think about making it a point to when you accomplish something, no matter how big or how small, treat yourself and do something for you as a thank you for you, as a, I did that. So here's a gift to me for doing that, for accomplishing that, for surviving that battle, right? So think about you in those moments and do something for you. Yeah, I just had to share that because, that once I get asked a question so many times, I just feel like, okay, if 5 people are asking me this, then I need to put it out there. So yeah, so on the next episode of GME Admin Insights, I will be talking about the job itself and a little bit of negotiation because I've been getting some questions about negotiation and what to do, what to ask for, where to look, and all this stuff. So I'm gonna hit on that too. But I'll tell you about the job in the next segment of GME Admin Insights podcast with your girl Natasha Brox. But until then, keep the gears of GME turning because your growth matters. Continue to grow, guys. And with that, I am out. So I will see you later. Bye bye. I think I found her. She's